יהי רצון פרשת וירא, לימוד שבי לרפואת כל החולים, ובתוכם טניה בת הודה מרגלית, יוסף יאיר בן אבי וחווה, הרב סימן בן סימה, בתוך כל שאר חולי ישראל. This year is my last year in Shlichut, and I got the privilege from Rav Grauer to be part of the administration. And at the beginning of the year, one of the parents came up to me and said to me, Yair, what's the goal of the school? And I said to them an answer that needed a lot of elaboration, but I said that the goal of the school is glasses. And obviously, you have to explain, and hopefully through an idea from the Sfat Emet, I can re-explain that concept of why the goal of a school is glasses. So when we look in the end of Parshat Lech Lecha, it finishes with the Brit Mila of Avraham Avinu, and immediately after that it says, Vayira elav Hashem. So the Sfat Emet wants to understand what's the uniqueness of the Brit Mila that caused two things. Immediately after the Brit Mila, Avraham Avinu's name changes from Avram to Avraham. In everything else he did, his name didn't change. He made Aliyah, his name didn't change. He was able to separate from Lod, he was able to fight a world war, name didn't change. He does a Brit Milah, and suddenly his identity transforms. So obviously the first question is going to be, why does the Brit Milah specifically give that matana, that present, that ability for the name change? And the second thing is, for 100 years, Avraham Avinu is waiting for a child. And the Brit Milah, suddenly, immediately after that, Hashem says, Sarah, she's going to have a child. So there's something unique about the Brit Milah. But says the Sfat Emet, what's so special? What's so unique? And he brings in a midrash that says like this. The midrash says, Sod Hashem liyire'av. The pasuk says the secret of Hashem is only given to the people that have awe of Hashem. And so you think to yourself, what is the secret of Hashem? Is the secret of Hashem the Shabbat? Is the secret of Hashem going to be something where we speak about Kibud Horim? What's the secret of Hashem? Says the Midrash one word. What is the secret of Hashem? Kshetimol. The Brit Milah is the secret of God. And so the question on the Midrash is, what is so unique? What's so special that this is considered the secret of Hashem, the Brit Milah? I could have thought of much better things. What is it about the Brit Milah that's the sort of Hashem? Explains the Sfat Emet something transformative. He says, let's go back to the first act of Hashem. The first act of Hashem in Sefer Breshit, Perek Aleph, Pasuk Gimel, Hashem says there, Vayavdel ben ha'or u'ben ha'choshech. Hashem's first act is to divide between light and darkness. The first action of Hashem is to understand the difference between light and dark. And what he's trying to teach us is that really the essence is or. The core is good. It's just covered by choshech. And we have to lahavdil ben ha'or u'ben ha'choshech, and immediately you see that there's or. Says the Sfat Emet, you have to understand, not only is Hashem's first act to divide between or and choshech, but man's first act is Brit Milah. And the action of Brit Milah is to lahavdil between something that's covering and the essence. You might have thought that in order to become a Jew for Avraham Avinu, he needs to add something. He needs to make Aliyah. He needs to do these different things. He needs to write a Sefer Torah. He needs to add and add and add and add and add. But Hashem says, no. What's going to change you and what's going to define your name is the act of Milah, because the act of Milah means that you take away something and you realize that Hashem was always there. It's not that you have to find someone, and you don't have to find something. You don't have to look for an inspiration or something outwards that's going to give you the ability. It was always there, it's just covered. And therefore, the idea of Brit Milah is that it's redefining all of Judaism. And it's saying that the definition of Judaism is that you have to understand what is the essence and what is covering the essence. What's covering the essence is what we need to remove, and immediately, once you subtract that, once you remove that, you reveal that inside you were always connected. We don't need to find answers outward because they're right there. It's just if we live a lifestyle that we're all the time exposed and addicted to things that are covering, we won't be able to see what's really there. Says in such an amazing way, the Sfat Emet, you have to realize the connection between these two things, between the first act of Hashem and the first act of man. And he says, Zewa fresh ben or leor. There are two ways to spell the word or. The first one is Aleph Vav Resh, which means light. And what Hashem does is he divides the choshech from light. But there's another way to spell or, which is Ayin Vav Resh, which means skin. And the idea of the or in the Milah is that I'm able to take away the or of the Ayin to reveal that inside is or. And the job of the Brit Mila is for Avram Avinu to understand that his job is not to add something new, but to remember something old. It's not about adding something that isn't there. It's about realizing that Hashem inside of us indented the ability to find him. It's just don't let go of what's covering. And so I think that if we understand this, we could realize what is the change of Avram Avinu's name. It changes from Avram to Avraham. You would have thought Hashem could have changed his whole name, his whole identity, from Avram to a different name. But what does Hashem do after the Brit Milah? He says it's the same name, it's just the hay was inside. And the change of Avram Avinu's name is to take away a cover and understand that you were always Avraham. It's just that you were exposed to something else. And all we have to do is take that away and you'll see that inside you were always Avraham Avinu. And so the bracha as we enter into this Shabbat is to understand that the job of Am Yisrael and the job of our lives is not to try and create something new, but to realize something that's always there. To educate our children and ourselves, not to think of something outwards, but to realize that we have to understand that all we have to do is just not cover our eyes. And then we'll see that the hay was always there, Hashem was always there, and the lavdil ben oru ben achoshech is to remove the darkness and realize that that is the only thing we need to do to find the light. Shabbat Shalom.